This is the 40 Days for Life podcast with your host, Sean Carney.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today on the 40 Days for Life podcast. I'm Sean Carney, the president of 40 Days for Life, and your host for this podcast, which is dedicated to helping you end abortion where you live. God bless America. This is the greatest country ever. I don't care about what the wusses in France and Europe say. We are better than you, and it's not even close. We're way better than you. So we will be talking about the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. We're going to blow some stuff up today in this podcast. And somebody who definitely knows how to celebrate the 4th of July and has only been arrested a few times on that holiday is Mr. Steve Carlin.
I know my way around the firework.
That was great. That should be a T-shirt. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know my way around the fire. Heather's also here. We got to get into it. You look amazing. I mean, the hell with the Soviets. USA. It's just fantastic. I got to watch Miracle now.
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's so fantastic. So explain now you actually didn't play in that game. We need to clarify because you have a northern accent.
Not technically,
People
no.
may be. And I know for a fact, since I wasn't born and I'm older than you, that you weren't alive when this actually happened. So how'd you get the jersey?
So we were watching the U.S. beat Canada for the gold this past February.
The other Soviets.
Yes, the other Soviets, the more different Soviets. And we're able to wrap up the gold medal game right before Mass. So that was nice. God smiled upon us and let us celebrate for just a few minutes before we got in the van and
God is
headed
now
to church.
involved in this jersey.
Wow.
Okay, that happened fast.
So we were all very delighted all day and had just actually watched the Miracle movie, which is one of the fine sports movies ever created.
Perfect for kids, too.
And I was so jacked out of my mind. I was like, I got to get a Team USA hockey jersey. So I got on.
So jacked out of my mind. I love this.
I was. I'll send it to Jill. We've got some videos of the kids celebrating. It's a lot of fun. There's signs that they made and everything. American flag made an appearance. It's like, I got to get a jersey. So I got on Amazon, and this beautiful, like, embroidered lettering Captain Mike Eruzione jersey, who scored the game winner against the Soviets in Lake Placid in 1980. It was like $39. I was like, I can't afford not to get this.
How did that happen? I think I'm more impressed with the deal than
So
even the gold medal.
I have been wondering this myself. I don't know, and my suspicion is not very patriotic, which is how much licensing did the 1980 Olympic team actually have? What's a market for this? And did China just realize that they can make this stuff for nothing? And did I get it from China? I don't know.
So if you, and I think the listener would say this, if you just said, hey, I bought, what's his name's jersey?
Mike Eruzione.
Which is a fantastic name, and he's the actor who plays him is really good in the movie. You said, I'm going to buy his jersey. I would have been like, minimum $125.
Yeah, just the quality of this, it should be like a $160 product.
Yeah.
Right, but it's a niche. It's, if you really want it, you're going to spend the money so they can charge whatever, and that's just so strange that you got it really.
I did my homework. I'm there like Googling to make sure, like, were the letters like this or were they like diagonal?
Right.
And no, this is what it looked like. So I bought it, and I am a happier person for it.
Well, and it looks amazing, and it puts me in a good mood.
Good.
I'm not even a hockey guy, but I support the 1980, and my kids love that movie. And of course, it's not my favorite Soviet movie because
Sure.
obviously Rocky Balboa beating Drago and defeating the Soviets.
And you could have the Rocky trunks on beneath the surface of this table, and we don't know.
No, you don't know. We don't know. The cameras don't go that low, thankfully for this podcast, for now.
Gosh.
And but yeah, it's Rocky IV is way up there. I know that's sort of based on true events, not completely like the hockey team, but same idea.
It's like the Book of Job. We don't know whether these really took place or are an allegory for greater truths, but it's true in some regard.
Well, maybe I wouldn't go that far, but I understand what you're trying to do. Anyways, okay, this 250th anniversary of America is so awesome, and there's been a new thing, and I wish we could just blame Trump for this because it's easy to blame him for stuff like this because he's so provocative. But I think the more other countries criticize us, the happier I am about us celebrating the anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
And it was pretty crazy. I was up the week of the rededication of America to God, which kind of kicked things off back in May. And it was just like the mall's all set up. It's beautiful.
Was this where they read the Bible scripture for 7 days straight?
Yes. And so I wasn't there for all 7 days, but like the whole setup is what
Did you read any?
Yeah, I did the original Aramaic in the Gospels, like the Mel Gibson portion.
Sure.
Yeah, so you can, all the ha and all that was really.
We'll look that up.
What I just said is look it up.
Screen.
Look it up, Heather. So what I probably ordered coffee. I don't know what I did. But so it's like totally patriotic, good mood, hand over heart. So much of our country was just built on just men and women in the dirt willing to roll up their sleeves and overcome persecution. We had obviously no business fighting the Brits. Really had no business joking about fighting the Brits. You know, it's like acting like you're going to beat up the biggest guy in class, but it's never really going to happen. And it happened, and we had a huge home field advantage, and they made a mistake of wearing red uniforms in the woods. But when you look at, I think, how much hatred there is for our country within our country, I'm hoping that the 250 years kind of brings us together. I know when this podcast comes out, we have a few more days till the 4th of July, but it really should be this celebration of this miraculous experiment that was entrusted to God. And
by flawed men, we all know.
By flawed men who, let's leave it at that. The slave owner founding fathers who were evil somehow came up with this great idea. And we overcame that, and we've overcome other injustices, and it's pretty incredible when you go back and you look at the War of 1812. It's like, okay, this is it. Like, I mean, we made it 30 years. Like, it's just not gonna work.
Nice try.
We're gonna go back being under England. It's over, and then basically we're after World War I. We're a real player.
And even the Civil War, you look at America in 1963, and we look, or 1863.
I was like, what?
And we look like a war-torn country on the other side of the world. That's what the United States is, and pulled through it.
Yeah. Well, and they were just let them destroy themselves, and then we'll go in and take over. And it almost happened. Almost happened. It's probably why I know Washington's the greatest president ever, but as far as, because there's no manual, but some of that makes it easy. Lincoln really was just absolutely phenomenal. Just probably the greatest president ever. So we have a lot to celebrate. We're going to go through our... What's your favorite patriotic movie besides Miracle?
Besides Miracle. Heather, you go first.
Patriotic movie
I'm
besides
making y'all
Miracle.
do the movie stuff. It bothers Heather, so that's why I like doing it.
I mean, Sandlot was pretty patriotic.
It was patriotic.
So.
Benny the Jet.
The scene with America the Beautiful with the fireworks
Yes,
going up in the sky.
best.
As good as cinema gets.
Yeah. I mean, Independence Day, obviously.
Well, we defeated the aliens.
Yeah.
They were taking over. And 4th of July will no longer be an American holiday.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Speech.
That's right.
Mine is The Patriot.
Okay.
Mel Gibson violently cutting up and murdering Brits, killing them. It was justified. It wasn't murder. Killing Brits. There's something about being an Irish Catholic just puts me in a good mood. We had Braveheart. Then a couple years later, we have The Patriot. And it's just awesome. That's a beautiful movie, actually, The Patriot. That's very well shot.
Great.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
No, I have not.
There we go. I was like,
I've seen it.
thank you for humor.
I liked it.
Do you like it?
I liked it. I had to, close my eyes during a couple of the gory parts, but
that one guy.
I still thought it was a really good movie.
Although he had it coming, but that one guy really got it. They're in the river. But a great father-son movie. And as I mentioned before, Heath Ledger is excellent in that movie. That's a much harder part to be like, he's playing like, I'm a loyal son. I love my father, but I'm also rebelling. Way better than just going nuts as the Joker, as we talked about. An overrated performance, in my opinion. Sorry to bring that up on the 4th. Okay. It's patriotic to be pro-life.
Do I get to do my trivia game with y'all?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I've been working, like, this may be the dumbest thing we've ever done on the podcast, which would admittedly be saying a lot.
You realize that we have ranked cereals and chips on the podcast in a very serious form that got
And sodas.
Substantive leader feedback. We were sent chips from Eileen.
And sodas.
Elaine.
Sorry.
And did you share them with me? You did not.
Didn't we already cover this?
It can't be stated enough.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I haven't gotten
Here
any.
was the practical thing, because this is like, Sean's mean. He took the cereal and he took the chips. And I did. And I took them home and we ate them. And they were amazing. Thank you, Eileen. Elaine.
Elaine Bennis.
Elaine Bennis sent us she's like the listener of the year.
I'm going to give her my home address next time.
You probably should. I was trying to clear it out for producer John. It was sitting here in the studio.
Oh,
we have the photo.
Act of charity.
Jill can put the photo. I had a TV interview, so I'm in a suit holding her cereal and chips. It's a great.
Like French toast crunch or what?
It was ridiculous. Oh my gosh. I was just eating that like with a hand.
Okay. Get on to the quiz here.
All right.
Bottom line, I took them. You live in Wisconsin. I don't know
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I have a quiz for you all. I started working on this 10.5 months ago. I have photos to document everything we're going to talk about. So Jill either has those or we'll get those.
Photos.
I have a series of 13 products. They are either a firework or a type of wine.
This is so fun.
And I want you to guess which one they are. And then the winner...
Hold on, I want to say, if the listener is thinking of skipping this part, shame on you. Keep going.
All right, the first product we have here is Trophy Wife, firework or wine?
Wine.
Wine.
Firework.
Dang it. I should have thought it was too obvious.
Night Owl.
Wine?
Dang, that's a tough one.
I know.
It has to be wine.
I said wine.
Firework.
Gosh!
Jeez.
What is it, hoot?
2 fireworks in a row. Whistling Moon Travelers.
Firework.
I want to say firework, but it's probably going to be wine this time. Firework.
You got that one. I thought maybe we could get 3 and you'd be like, you wouldn't do 3 fireworks in a row, would you?
Dang.
Boom Boom.
Too obvious. Wine.
I'm going to go firework.
Wine.
There you go. You got it right.
Black Stallion. Not to be confused with the band
Black Cat.
Wild Stallions from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah, that was just getting confused on that. Thank you for clarifying.
Wine.
Wine.
Correct. Wild Horses.
Keep dragging me.
Yeah, that's a
away.
wine.
Firework.
Firework.
You're winning, by the way. Heather's winning if we're competing against each other.
You are.
Oh, right.
Don't worry, there's a tiebreaker though too.
Oh, there's a tiebreaker.
Watermelon Wave.
Wine?
That better be a firework.
I'm going to say wine.
Firework.
Firework.
Okay.
Somebody's having a little comeback.
Freak Show.
Oh, that's a wine. You never had Freak Show? I thought we had it together.
This is a freak show. Heather?
All right, I'm going to say wine.
Correct.
Okay.
Skyfall.
Great movie.
Yeah. And song. Wine. Too obviously a firework. I'm going to go with
Firework.
Sean's.
Firework.
Wine.
Gosh.
Naughty Girl.
The way he said that. Like you're like
Naughty girl.
reading from a definition. Naughty girl.
Firework.
I'm going to do wine.
Wine.
Hey, there we go.
Bad Reputation.
Ooh. It's probably a wine. I'm going to go firework.
Wine.
Firework.
Are we tied?
I'm
How many?
We'll find out
Give
in a
me a
little bit.
halftime report or something. What if I got to do some chalk talk?
Carmen's Last Dance.
Firework.
That's a wine.
That is a wine.
This
And
is really a brilliant game.
Oh, the last one I had on here we did already. All right. So I'm gonna tally them up, but first, in case it's a tiebreaker, how many?
No. Tally it up, and then we can do a tiebreaker.
But what if it's not a tie?
We'll just do it as a bonus.
All right.
I think you won.
I think you won. It was rough in the beginning for me. I had like a fourth quarter comeback, but I don't know if it was enough.
I did win one before you did.
Sean, 8. Heather, 5.
Ah, see?
Wow, I pulled away there. Okay. Excellent. So the bonus round.
Yes.
Just for fun.
How many shots does the trophy wife Firework blast into the July sky?
Can I ask how much it is?
I don't remember. I took these photos in July of 2025 in anticipation of this.
A year in the making. Okay. This is like when they waited to release Top Gun 2.
How many shots does it blast into the sky?
Yep.
Okay.
If you don't remember the price, that means that it's not 64, so it's probably either 24 or 48, and I'm going to go with the cheesy name being it's 24 shots.
All right, Sean says 24. How many shots say you?
I said 12. I'm saying 12.
12. The answer, 480.
Oh, then it's one of those.
Oh my gosh.
That's not a shot.
No? All right.
No,
It said 480 shots on the firework.
No,
okay.
This is a northerner firework thing. Because if you say shot in Texas, it's like it's the bulbs.
Yeah.
Right. It's a big explosion.
Yeah.
This is the little weenie, annoying 13-year-old
hold on.
firework.
The black cats.
Yes.
You're a fan of Saint Therese, the little flower. This is just a firework version of the little flower.
Wow.
You just want to focus on the rose.
What
about
a
the baby's
connection.
breath?
Okay. First off, good point. Secondly, I would say in my lame defense, it works for saints, not for fireworks. It's just that, so.
That was good, Steve.
This is worth it?
Do you know
You had a good time?
Do you know what's funny is
We had a great time.
there's a comedian that does something similar except church or pot shop.
Ooh.
Wow. I will say that
And you would have the results similar to this game.
At a social function that involved a lot of people from our church, there was a karaoke machine. And I got roped into, which made it all fun for my little girls, into singing Firework by Katy Perry.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so
That's a fun one.
my teenage daughters, of course, took footage of it, and I sent it to my best friend, Chris Street, who we've referenced on the podcast. And he said, if Mary Lisa divorces you, you can move in with me. I was like, what are you talking about? This performance, I'd laid it down. It was amazing.
Was it really roped in, or was it like on Anchorman when they goad him into playing the jazz flute? I never do this, and he pulls the flute out of his sleeve.
It was one of those, like, I'm not doing that. Give me the microphone.
All right, yeah.
Like, this is happening.
Hold me back.
Hold me back. All the kids are there. I'm like, and I know I get a double whammy. I get to embarrass the teenagers and just make the little kids crack up because Dad's singing the Fireworks song. So I loved it.
Perfect.
Frankly, I think I did a very good job.
Well, just one of the reasons of American greatness as we celebrate this 250th birthday of our country.
Absolutely.
Also known as the semi-quincentennial.
I don't know what all those numbers mean. Like, I'm good if I can keep up with Roman numerals. Like, I'm sophisticated enough to do that.
Sure.
The V is the 5, and everybody uses that so you feel better. Pius V, there's a V, and all that stuff. But once you get into the centennial, quincentennial, whatever, you lose me.
Essential oils, something.
250 years. That's what it is. So
I'm just trying to show that I'm the more sophisticated one.
Yeah, we don't use the
once.
metric system here, Heather.
I think that's assumed. Yeah, because of the metric system. Check out the big brain on Brett. Okay, it's Patreon. Or can we start now, or you have any other quizzes? That was very clever, by the way.
I like
Thank
it.
you.
Honestly, and I hope the listener does this, somebody's going to Google that and use it for a family game night because it's a really fun thing.
Inspired by Mr. Carlin.
Inspired by Steve Carlin. And if you do that, write in and tell us that you ripped off Steve's fun game show idea in your family and tell us if it was fun or whether you
beat
were
Sean
accused of being an idiot. Yeah, did you get 8 points? That's
whether you do the fireworks and then the wine, I guess, is my suggestion. If you're going to partake in these products that we've just highlighted.
Well, I'm sure there's other versions of it too. Like I don't know, that you could do with like kids, but for adults, that's definitely a funny thing. Is this a firework or a wine? So I may do it. I may do this.
I mean, I think it shows that I picked a good list because there were 12 of them. You got 8, so a little bit. Oh, you were a little over 500. You got 5. It wasn't a gimme. Like you couldn't.
It was like a decent AFC Championship game between like Buffalo and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. This analysis.
The Thanksgiving podcast, but in July.
Oh, we got some substance. I see Chesterton on the list, even though he's a Brit. All right. It's patriotic to be pro-life. This is, so John Paul II, his great quote, "A nation that kills its own children is a nation without hope," which is so obvious and basic. One of his many great moments where I was like hand over heart was when he came to Denver. And he is at the airport. It's raining. It's kind of a famous scene. They got the umbrellas. Bill and Hillary Clinton are there. And he says the great line of every country is ultimately judged by how they treat their most vulnerable, most importantly, those in the womb who have yet to be born. Great moment. Great moment. With the president standing there. And it wasn't like, I'm going to stick it to him. It was like, saints have a way of doing that. Like Mother Teresa would say something. If you were to read it, you're like, what's her deal?
Dying.
And our Lord is like, I mean, you read the Gospels. I don't think you walk around calling people brood of vipers, probably in high school or college. But John Paul had that impact where he could say something very direct, to the point, in a loving way, where you knew he was loving the sinner, hating the sin. So you always do this at 4th of July. You bring up Chesterton because he's got a lot of comments on patriotism versus nationalism.
Yeah, as sacrilegious as it appears to be bringing Chesterton, a Brit, into a conversation on American patriotism,
well,
I think
he's more popular in America than he is in England, like Churchill.
So I'm paraphrasing here because you pretty much have to paraphrase Chesterton if you quote longer than a sentence, because he gets into like, and according to Miss Jones's letter to the editor from last week of some paper that has been out.
If a man has a gin on a Tuesday and on Saturday forgets he has a soul, did he ever really have a gin? Like, I don't know what's going on right now.
So we're paraphrasing here, but you hear a lot about approval ratings, and do we approve, do we disapprove? We were talking before about how we love that the Europeans don't approve of us. Like I hear about something Trump does foreign policy, I'm like, I don't know. I don't really know if that's a good idea or a bad idea. And then I hear someone say, this has reduced American standing in the eyes of the international community. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm for that. Absolutely.
Sign me up for that, brother.
Yeah. But he's saying we can't just approve or disapprove of our country, because he said if you disapprove of your country because of its failings, you're going to disown it. You're going to move beyond it. And if you approve your country in spite of its failings, then we allow it to kind of wallow in mediocrity and not be as good as it could be. But instead we have to love our country. And he cites this British town of Pimlico, which apparently was a pretty lousy place. And he said the only way out of it seems to be for somebody to love Pimlico, to love it with a transcendental tie and without any earthly reason. If men loved Pimlico as mothers love children, arbitrarily because it is theirs, Pimlico in a year or two might be fairer than Florence. This is how cities grow great. People first paid honor to a spot, and afterwards they gained glory for it. Men did not love Rome because she was great. She was great because they had loved her. And I love this because we see there's problems in our country all the time. It's very serious problems. Can we still be patriots? Do we kneel for the national anthem? No, we love our country, and that love is going to nurture the country and help make it a better place that we can all be proud of.
You're also, everybody loves somebody who loves their country. Like no matter what country you're from, somebody's like, no, whatever, I'm disappointed, but I love my country. Like we're not like, well, you shouldn't. Mm-hmm. That's just I think that was a big struggle that Germany definitely went through after the war, and somewhat today. When I was in Germany, they said, people did not publicly, there were 2 occasions that finally people felt comfortable putting the German flag out, like in their yard or hanging it from their apartment window. And I thought it's going to be something like they won some Olympic gold medal in 1964 or something. And they said, no, it's recent. It was the election of Pope Benedict. And when they won the World Cup.
Oh, really?
And this was like a professor who was telling me this, and she had written an article on it, and it was basically everybody was celebrating Germany on the world stage. It was cool that we had the first German bishop. It was cool that Germany won the World Cup and beat Argentina. And it was one of those, they felt like they were back in the crowd. And you're like, that's a long time after the end of the war.
Yes.
When basically we got rid of your military. We took, we're going to have bases here. You're going to go back to building awesome cars and engineering, and you're going to have a country, but your reign, this is never happening here again. And it shows like I don't want to meet a German who hates their country today.
No.
Right? And I think that you even see it. We have friends from Venezuela and who, praise God, left in time and were raised in Texas. They still have a love for Venezuela. It's their home. And so I think that's natural. And it's a little unnatural, totally unnatural to say, your whole country's a farce. You're on stolen land. Everything you've ever done is awful. And your president had slaves. And you're like, okay, well, let's go burn her down then. I mean, that is so unnatural to just hate your country for reasons, number one, that are out of your control and for your history.
Mm-hmm. And supposedly hate it so much, but refuse to leave.
Well, that's just the practical awkward part. This food is terrible. Give me some more. It's really bad.
Let's say that a new Hitler did take over and was running the United States.
He is, Steve. Haven't you watched the news? Keep going.
And we all went into exile. We moved to, I don't know, some other country.
No. Where are we going if this happens?
We still love our country, right? Like, we mourn for our country because we love it. It's not like, forget the U.S. I hate the U.S. and not down with the U.S. It's like you want the U.S. to be reformed. Like a lot of the Soviet exiles who came to the United States, they still loved Russia.
100%.
They're just doing it from a place where they could safely do it.
100%.
Wow.
I'd go to Ireland.
I was going to say Maldives, somewhere totally
Where is that?
off the wall. It's like near Africa, in the Middle East.
That was the most American answer.
It's near Africa.
Somewhere, I don't know.
It's an island.
I think it's near an ocean.
It's an island. No, it's in an ocean.
It's an island.
It's an
We're going to go
island.
to an island.
Yeah.
That sounds like a dream retirement. That's not really exile, I guess.
We're going into hiding. I want to go into hiding somewhere I enjoy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right.
Moving on.
What now?
We got too fixated on the country we would leave.
Yeah.
They're taking over our own country. Okay. As we celebrate, let's do the 10 great moments in American history. This is a hard list because there's obviously been a lot of great moments. We only talk about the bad moments. But
I want to be clear, too. This is not a countdown of the 10 greatest. I mean, we've covered a lot of stuff here. We've covered like 10 great patriotic quotes from American heroes. We've covered 10 great pro-life movements. We've covered various patriotic things. So this is not, we're not looking to read.
It's not the 10 greatest in the history of America. It's just 10 great moments.
10 great moments that we haven't covered before on other podcasts. And
I don't see the Herschel Walker trade to fix that. But okay. I thought you were gonna have like when you first won Tecmo Bowl with like the New York Jets. Okay, number 1 on our list in no particular order: surviving the Civil War, and then the assassination of Abraham Lincoln.
And Reconstruction.
It's just unbelievable that all that happened. It's a little bit when we say this is the craziest time in America, and I think as we've had a little bit more compassion on the boomers. 60s and 70s had some of that, where you just had Kennedy's assassination, all the lies about Vietnam, MLK's assassination,
RFK Sr.,
and just
Watergate,
the upheaval. I get it. I get it. As much as we crack on them, that was a chaotic time. But you're sitting here going, we didn't have the media during this, but can you imagine the media covering the Civil War? I mean, we should laugh at it. It should be unbelievable. There'd be so many lies on both sides of like who's going to take over and is the war ending. And then the media covering the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. John Wilkes Booth, a celebrity, an actor, half the country today would have been like, hey, man, cool. He's good looking, you know. And then Reconstruction, which is just this hopeless effort that nobody thought would work.
Everybody knows the line from the Gettysburg Address in 1963. 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. And that's what we're celebrating this week, right? That it did endure. And so he said that at perhaps the lowest moment in the history of America, and we're still here.
It's amazing, too, what we've endured. If you would have given them some facts, them being the founding fathers, what did Benjamin Franklin say? 400 years is what we would make it. So we're, I don't know, got at least 150 left. But if you would have told them some of the state of affairs, I think we would be confused. We're a little confused on what they would just be appalled at. Mm-hmm. And obviously, like abortion and all that, there's big things. But not being at any moment like allowed into a national park. Yeah. That would have absolutely, and I think they would have understood the White House because of security. Mm-hmm. But the amount of restrictions the government puts on people is pretty amazing. The libertarian would be like seatbelts, but you'd have to explain to, like, they didn't require a certain kind of saddle, you know, and all that. And so I think safety and stats, but there's a lot of basic things that we just do. You have to have a fishing license. Think how stupid that is.
I've always thought that too.
And we're in Texas.
I get hunting licenses more than I do fishing.
Why?
Because you have to limit the number of whatever you're hunting that you kill depending on the area. You have to. It's what is the phrase that they use? It's called the like,
tag.
No, the thinning.
The populations and all of that.
It's the thinning of not the thinning of the herd. I can't think of the phrase, but essentially it's the controlled environment where you can't have like too many boars obviously taking over, because then you have less and less deer and all this kind of stuff that's killed. So
we educated ourselves on what controls an environment, and maybe they would probably understand that. But a fishing license? When we fish in Galveston, we just got back, okay? And we surf fish. It's a blast. And you can't even keep track. So we catch black-tip sharks, which you have to walk out and then cast off the end of the sandbar. And then that's where the sharks are, and you would love it. It's super fun.
How big are these sharks? Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, 3. I think the largest one we ever had was 4 feet, but that's like, okay, everybody stay calm.
You eat this shark?
That's what I'm getting to. So, first off, no, even though it's legal to eat some of them, just because shark is a tough meat. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can fry the heck out of it like anything else, but it's like, what's the point? And I think this is where it may be an issue with Mrs. Carney of just her going, okay, like I was going to cook shrimp and pasta. Like, we have to eat your shark. Like, can't we just have fun and fish? Why do you have to like conquer the land? So there's that part of it. Okay. So, but black tip sharks you can eat. You can't eat fine-toothed sharks. You can't keep them. You can't keep bull sharks. And Galveston Bay is totally overpopulated with bull sharks, and you can't keep them.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
They say you can't.
Okay.
And I'm sitting here going, Thomas Jefferson would be like, go to the water and put your hook in the water, and if you catch a fish, you do whatever you want with it. Right. I think there's things like that they would be like, what?
Yeah.
Like, we would have overthrown the government over this.
I just got an email recently from a loyal 40 Days for Life podcast listener who said, man, I was just in your state, and they were going to charge me $15 for a one-day fishing license. And I wrote back, I was like, well, I hope you got your money worth. Like, No, I didn't pay.
Yeah.
We went fishing, but I didn't pay.
Absolutely. Which is what everybody does. And so I think that there are a lot of things like that. When you go to D.C., and I'm very pro-security, but it is pretty remarkable what you don't have access to, you know.
Do you think the concept of game wardens altogether would have been just ridiculous to them?
No.
Yeah.
We don't. And this is, the older I get, the crazier I come off. But I don't know. I mean, you could make an argument about a driver's license.
Yeah. Oh, don't get started on that, though.
Car.
Especially with police officers.
I know. You can't drive it. And then I know that there's the typical thing, and I hated hearing it when I was young because I just thought the loser kids said it. But there is something about you can't have a Coors Light, but you can go fight in Iraq, you know, and that whole thing. They just raised tobacco to 21 years of age, of 18.
Right.
Now, we're going to prosecute the 18-year-old when he, you know, runs over an old lady. He's going to get prosecuted as an adult, but he can't smoke a cigarette. I think those are the little things, and I'm against smoking cigarettes, but those are the little things that the Founding Fathers would have absolutely, the notion of personal responsibility was so big in our founding documents. And of course, now it scares people.
Yeah.
Because we're entitled morons.
Yep.
And we don't want to be responsible for anything. But it's pretty amazing when you think about, and I'm terrified. I wear seatbelt. I think it should be law. I don't have an answer for this. But when somebody says you should.
Oh, I do.
Huh?
I do.
You think we should wear seatbelts?
Yes.
Me too.
But
well, it's a public health thing.
Yes.
Like when you die because you didn't have your seatbelt on, that disrupts public health. It's like, well, yeah, but I'm the only one that died. Well, the cops had to go out there. We had to do the funeral.
Someone else, if you got in an accident, they were partially, But also there's the better argument, I think, which is if you don't wear a seatbelt, you significantly increase your chances of projectile launching out of the car, thus becoming a weapon at that point.
That's a great point.
And then you're screwing over someone's life even more, potentially.
It's a great point. And this is another reason I could never run for office. But we can just get on a motorcycle and drive down the road. Oh,
no. I know. It's nuts.
It's hard. And this is why the Federalist Papers are so good. I promise we're going to move on to the podcast.
No, I just like that we're talking about like teenagers smoking and should you wear a seatbelt. And this is still our bullet point of the country survived the Civil War, the assassination of Reagan, and the impeachment of Andrew Johnson.
It is.
I think they would be looking at all this
But they
now.
would understand. They understand somebody trying to shoot Trump or shooting Reagan. They get all that. They lived with assassinations, and it's a dangerous world. I think that they would enter into the probably, why can't you have pot? Why can't the 18-year-old have beer? I think they'd be interested in that stuff.
Yes.
And we'd have to educate them and whatever your beliefs are, your beliefs. But the whole restriction of, definitely they would have been against prohibition. I mean, talk about a mess, especially since the U.S. economy was like built on tobacco and alcohol. But I just think there's a lot of these things that you can forget TSA. TSA does not exist.
I think they would have looked at a lot of these things and people could make their own list of what those things might be and say, are you guys bored? I think that they would just be wondering like.
Yeah. You just want a big government.
What?
Think about early days of our country and in like half the states today, being in the legislature was not a full-time job. You were a farmer who went to your state capital. You were a tradesman who went to your state capital and you served for a little bit and then you went back to your business back home. Now it's a full-time job and they're sitting there like, what laws should we come up with this time?
It's totally true. And I mean, going back to the TSA thing, so we would say, hey, you know, we got to tell you this little 9/11 thing happened. And they would say, okay, so non-citizens
have better immigration.
They got so these people came to the country, learned to fly, got on airplanes with box cutters, and did this terrorist attack. Yes. So your way to stop this is to make sure nobody can get on with more than 4 ounces of cologne. Well, yeah, because they could put chemical and, you know, and they would go through the whole thing. And I think the Founding Fathers would go in a room and say, we now require every passenger to have a 9mm. I mean, and this is where people like, I'm not part of the NRA, but I get their point. And this is where they were so opposite of us. Like, but the terrorists aren't getting to the cockpit if everybody shoots them. Well, we can't have everybody carrying a gun on an airplane. Well, what about the ones that want to? We can't allow that. Why not? I don't know. What if they take over the plane? Oh, so you don't trust your citizens? Well, what if they do a background check and they have no criminal record? I mean, when you read the Federalist Papers, that's the kind of crap that they're talking about. And
have you seen the Saturday Night Live skit where they're establishing the Bill of Rights?
No.
They're like, and it begins with them just wrapping up affirming the First Amendment. Like, what should we be second? He says, guy in the corner is like, guns. What about them? Having them. So you just made a law that you can say whatever crazy crap you want, and now everybody's armed? Uh-huh. What do you think that will say to our allies around the world? We don't play.
We don't play. We look at things so differently and sometimes backwards that when you like stop and think about it, and then so you're on these planes and you have to be very safe, right? Because you're 35,000 miles in the way. So what do people do? They watch violent movies and drink alcohol. You serve them alcohol 40,000 feet in the air, but they can't have a gun?
Yep.
It is kind of backwards, right? It's
funny.
It is strange. So, but that's exactly what they would be like. How did the little twerp get into the cockpit with a box cutter? I thought we had the Second Amendment. Well, you can't take guns on a plane. Why not?
And that's the funny thing too is
which we've done with churches.
An airline has
you can't
a right.
have guns in churches now. Every
Right.
church has security. Yeah.
An airline has a right to not allow a passenger to board if they're drunk before they get on the plane.
Right.
Which I always think is.
And sometimes they apply that to the pilots.
Yeah.
But it's. This for
sometimes
my pilot friends that listen to the podcast, they'll get a kick out of that.
Oh, good.
Sort of. But now that's different. American Airlines says we just don't allow guns on our plane. Then it's a free market thing. It's capitalism. So the founding fathers would be like, great, we understand that. It's free market. But for the government to say you can't do it, this is like the crazy conversation with your buddies where he says something stupid and everybody wants to write him off, but 5 minutes later, half the crowd's like, it's not a bad point.
The way I feel right now, I've only felt once in my life before, and it's when you said, I think we need Bank of America to take over the national parks.
Yeah, and that's what I said, and I believe that, because they would be like, well, if there's some area where you want to hunt, you could have Wells Fargo Hunting Lodge, okay? And they can charge a license. But if you're just walking up to the Gulf of America, you have to have a fishing license. And I'm thinking about this because I had to go get my fishing license the other week because we're taking the kids and you got to get the family one. And I'm like, this is so stupid. It's an ocean, you know? So anyways, I'm only doing this because when we go back to our founding documents, there are things that we do all the big stuff, right? Like the founding fathers had slaves, and so who cares what they would think about abortion, or who cares what they think about anything, and all of that. But when we look at the notion of freedom, it's amazing how much Thomas Jefferson would beat the crap out of FDR if he saw him. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine? I mean, that is the New Deal, and you can explain the Nazis and the war and the Depression and all that, and they would have been like, this is how the chips fall in our system. This was inevitable, and you're going to come back, but you can't hand everything over to the government because that's never going to end. So anyways, that's the thing, and I know that's a big Monday morning quarterback, particularly on 9/11 and the TSA stuff, but I think that I cursed Ron Paul enough in my youth to regret it, to be like, when he stood up and he said this will never end with the Patriot Act, we end up with Mark Houck.
Yeah.
So
there you go. Sorry
for that.
No, it's all good.
It's not off topic because it's as if we put them in the DeLorean. What do they actually think of us? Okay. The Marshall Plan.
Yeah. 2 world wars and a global depression. The world is in tatters. And instead of punishing the belligerents like we did after World War I, the U.S. rebuilt the world.
And was just, that's the high point of we are the heroes. We are the popular kid on the block. We are about to get extremely wealthy. We're also about to enter a little Leave It to Beaver, newspaper reading dad and, the mom and the family hasn't self-destructed yet. And of course we still have segregation.
Yeah.
It's just very American. We have things, there's a lot of things going really well in our country now, and we can look and it's like, you have abortion and gay marriage. Like, y'all are on the epitome of hell. But that's just the way life works. And it's really remarkable after the war. That's our best moment, I think.
Think about what our soldiers went through and they came home, and then our country collectively and willingly treated Germany and Japan better than Republicans and Democrats treat each other today just within our country.
It's true. And what do? We look back and we were like, they smoked cigarettes and they were racist bigots. They essentially forgave the Japanese and the Germans and worked alongside them. And now we have Sony, and Toyota and Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz sponsors the National Football Championship. You just think about it. It's 81 years since the liberation of Auschwitz. Mercedes-Benz is sponsoring. Isn't
their name on the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints Stadium?
Yeah, the Superdome.
Both named after?
Both of them. Because, ironically, but, obviously with what we're talking about, Mercedes-Benz moved to Alabama. All their cars, except for one model, is made in Alabama. Pretty remarkable you ever drive past the headquarters, because you're in the middle of nowhere. Beautiful, hilly Alabama, and then just these Mercedes flags appear for like a mile. You're like, what's going on? Then you see their big gate. And think about that. Mercedes-Benz are made in Alabama. It's great. Right. And America is the only place that can pull that off. And so, I think that all past generations are evil, racist, bigots. I don't know. It's pretty amazing, particularly with the struggle we had in the Pacific of just so many Marines dying and just this merciless opponent that would not surrender and literally led us to nuke them. And to turn around and make them, at one point, now they don't have children, but, they were the wealthiest country per capita in the world. Now I believe it's Germany, ironically. So, okay, here we go. Now we're talking about jerseys. The Miracle on Ice.
I think the context, it's a great sporting event. And frankly, if I could go to any sporting event that I haven't been to throughout all of history, I would love to have been at the Miracle on Ice.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's a good choice.
My dad is not a sports fan at all, and we were asking him about it. He's like, yeah, I remember that was a big deal. So I love it, and the backdrop of it, of course, is sort of this national, and I know you love this word, malaise.
Big malaise guy.
All the things you talked about, the political assassinations of the 60s, Vietnam, Watergate, and the whole Carter administration.
Also, just in the background, divorce rates going through the roof, contraception, abortion's now on the scene. We're losing. It's existential suicide right now.
So Jimmy Carter gives a speech, which is now known as the crisis of confidence speech, which you don't want as a president that to be the name of your most famous speech. But he said, here's a couple of quotes from it. It is a crisis of confidence. It is a crisis that strikes at the very heart and soul and spirit of our national will. We can see this crisis in the growing doubt about the meaning of our own lives and in the loss of a unity of purpose for our nation. The symptoms of this crisis of the American spirit are all around us. For the first time in the history of our country, a majority of our people believe that the next 5 years will be worse than the past 5 years. And he's running for re-election.
It's that which we don't say out loud.
Yeah. And then 20 young men showed up to Lake Placid, New York, and beat the powerful sports team in the history of
America.
That's right.
Shake and bake. That just happened. Okay. A different miracle, but equally as important. The Lewis and Clark expedition. Very underrated.
Yeah. I can't find my way places when I have my phone telling me where to turn.
Drove my lake into a car.
There was a comedian.
Car into a lake. I messed that up.
The comedian in the 90s who had a Lewis and Clark thing, basically showing like how amazing it is. And he's like, okay, you go through. Missouri's nice. It's all this. Then you hit the Rockies and you're like, boys, we've come this far. You go over first set of mountains and then you just see the rest of the Rockies and you're like, all right, bleep this. It's like, that's how everybody would react. And there is a lot of truth to that of just, they didn't know how far they had to go. That's a strange thing.
Yeah.
You don't know when it will end.
Yeah.
And it's far. It's not like they went from Utah to San Diego. You know, I mean, they just had like kept going. And it's really, really, I thought that the series was really good, highlighting the pioneer life. What is it, Producer John? 1883. 1883. Probably with Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, and they are rough in it. And Virgil's in it from Tombstone. Come on. 80s. What's his name? Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott's in it. He's fantastic. But that's the best show I've ever seen. And it's definitely hand over heart. But just the series, and it's historical, but about pioneers, and they're going from Fort Worth to Oregon. And it's really good. But it makes you appreciate what Lewis and Clark did.
Yeah.
Which one killed themselves?
Ooh, I feel like it was Lewis.
I feel like it was Lewis. Yeah, yeah.
I took a little boat cruise. I had to go to Montana for something, and just a little riverboat thing through part of the area that they explored, and it was, I don't know, just cool to retrace those steps.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Here we go. Switching into the cultural phenomenon, the conversions of Bernard Nathanson, Norma McCorvey, Carol Everett, and Abby Johnson.
And more. Ramona. Sue Thayer.
And more. Yeah. This is the power of using our free speech. I think that there was you had Bernard Nathanson, who's the founder of NARAL. He sees a silent scream. He witnesses the abortion he's doing, sees that the baby screams. He has a conversion, becomes a Catholic, wrote Hand of God, which is the first thing I handed Abby when she came over to our office. Mm-hmm. And then there's a gap, and you have Norma, who's the Roe of Roe v. Wade, but that's different. Because she wasn't like doing abortions. She wasn't even pregnant, even though they said she was. And then you have Carol Everett. And then there's this long gap, really, of abortion worker conversions. And then when Abby comes
that we know of.
That we know of, sure. But the did you hear about that lady on the news?
Yep.
And Abby's takes it to a whole new level. And you have on here, this is the power of us using our free speech. But the nature of Abby's conversion is what is so powerful. She didn't go and hear Billy Graham and do the altar call. She was doing an abortion. She saw an abortion, and she had the credibility that she had had 2 abortions herself. So she's all in. She's a Planned Parenthood Employee of the Year, and she's like, this will be interesting, a new method of doing abortions with an ultrasound. And then she witnesses the abortion and has a conversion. So when she's asked on the news, why did you leave Planned Parenthood? And everybody expects her to say, my boss was terrible and I didn't get all my sick days and all that nonsense. She says, I saw an abortion, saw that it kills a baby. So I think, and then of course, her post-pro-life life of helping hundreds of probably thousands at this point, when you look, definitely tens of thousands of people have changed their mind on abortions because of her. But hundreds have left the abortion industry. And if this is the greatest injustice in the history of America, then these conversions are a significant moment in our history.
I'd say Adrienne Moten is, one of those to highlight too, because she was from Kermit Gosnell's facility. Yeah. And Abby also helped her.
Yeah.
She had left, but she was in prison, serving her time, and then realized she just completely regretted all that. So she's sought, I guess Abby didn't help her leave. She already left, but she's helped her on her healing journey. So,
which is awesome. And that's how we got a lot of the info from, for Gosnell. Okay. Robert Carter's deed of gift.
I had never heard of this. Were either of you familiar with it?
No.
Nope.
1791, Robert Carter III of Virginia, motivated by his faith, freed his 452 slaves. Let them go. This is a tremendous personal cost. I mean, if you think about it, take it out of human terms, the economic value that he's giving up is tremendous.
Right.
Significant. Also ticks off his sons, who realize that their inheritance has just taken a massive hit. So family drama. And then, you know, it's interesting here because you'll hear sometimes like, well, Lincoln freed the slaves, but he didn't give them jobs. They were he gave them, the freed slaves, land to earn a living on afterward as well. So just something I don't think a lot of people know about it, but it's part of our history, and it's a light in our history.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
No, I'd heard of people freeing their slaves based on conscience, but it was this rare thing. I never heard of Robert Carter and him doing it to 452 slaves. So, but he owned them in the first place, so forget him. I don't care about his stupid conversion. Let's tear his statue down. All right.
I was going to say that. If he had a statue, it's not there anymore.
It's gone. All right, the man on the moon. Here we go.
If you believe it.
Did we land on the moon? I know we've covered this on the podcast. I have no tolerance for the person who thinks we faked the moon landing because, and I've covered this. I'm going to cover it again because this is America's birthday. I love America. What happens is in these conversations, we ask, why did we fake the moon landing? And the anti-moon landing guy says, to prove to the Soviets that we beat them. So this is what we do. This is where they're going to say, oh, communism's evil, and we all have to convert to capitalism and free markets because the Americans landed on the moon. It's the dumbest thing. It's like, I beat you in arm wrestling, so give me your house. It just doesn't work that way. It's just so stupid. So that, and it just, technology-wise, it just makes sense that we landed on the moon. The other thing is if we didn't land, if we faked that, I am more proud of my country. That is the awesomest scam we've ever done. And
at that time, we didn't have CGI.
The liberals should love it. We saved all that fuel. We didn't endanger the astronauts. And think of the great acting that Neil Armstrong and all those guys did. They're going around, they're meeting with the Queen of England, they're doing their celebrity tour, and they're like, we were in Burbank. This is really kind of funny. So it's just one of those things. Like, it's like we're the worst country in the world because we faked the moon landing. I'm like, that would make us better because we didn't even have to do the work. And I mean, going to
Not the credit.
Where'd we get those moon rocks? Arizona, man.
Yeah, easily faked. Yeah.
I went to Calgary in Canada about 10 or 11 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And when you come back, you get to go through customs on the Canadian side of the border. So you don't have to get to the U.S. and then go through customs. They let you do it before you get on the plane to come home. And I walked into the U.S. customs room, and it felt like you're walking into Lambeau or something like that. And just like murals everywhere. And you've got like a buffalo on the plane.
Yeah.
You've got a kid playing Little League Baseball. You've got a little country church, and you've got a farm. And then the capstone of it all was Neil Armstrong on the moon. It was like, this is our house.
Yes.
This is our house.
Yes. We did go to the moon, or we did fake it. Either way, we're better than you.
Nothing says you're in our house now.
Absolutely.
Like a man on the moon.
Absolutely. These colors don't run. Yeah. No. I just, there's a weird thing, and I think it's a Gen Z thing, but COVID did this. COVID brought back, we didn't land on the moon.
Birds are not real.
The Earth isn't round. We've got some of that going
Earth
around.
is flat.
The Earth is flat.
Oh, yeah.
Flat Earthers are coming back.
I know some. I'm not.
Are they in the mirror?
No, I'm not one of them.
It's just dumb. I didn't like Fauci. I think we went through a very dark time. I think a lot of people lied about COVID. We landed on the moon. It's okay. It's calm. Like, just stay focused. We get all wound up, and nothing's real, you know? you could always reverse it too and be like, I think they faked segregation.
Yes.
They couldn't go into restaurants. You really believe that? Well, then you really get it. You rage bait. I think we can do the reverse, rage bait. So
people already do that about the Holocaust.
That's another thing. And I'm like, hey, wasn't that long ago. Mm-hmm. Let's be careful. Mm-hmm. So yeah. But thank you for putting it on the list. I know you're a true believer. You're Absolutely. Not a believer. You're acknowledging history. There's just a lot. Here's the other thing, is that whenever they show the aliens coming in Independence Day, you can see the flag on the moon. How did it get there? Idiots. All right. Now we have to go to okay, so here we go. This is really cool. And we lived through this. September 12th, 2001.
If you believe that jet fuel can melt steel.
Stop it. And you and I'm going to take my kids later in the year, the older ones, but you and I have been to the 9/11 memorial, and we totally endorse it. Go.
I've had a membership.
Yeah. Oh, you did? Okay. You got to go. It's so well done. Hard thing to do, too, with the sensitivity, with it not being that long ago. Obviously, kids now are, who were 5 when their dad died or older. And just, it's very hard to do something like that. They did a great job with it. And it's very, I don't know, it's not very pro-Muslim. I would say that. It's not bigoted, but you're sitting here reminded of everything of like, this was Islamic terrorism. This was the goal.
I think the best part of it, which is the biggest part of it, the central part of it, is you go through the museum and you're walking through the day. And so the first thing, it's kind of a timeline, and you see like Katie Couric, they just keep replaying the same NBC or whatever network she was on segment of like news that there was an explosion at the World Trade Center. And it's multimedia all the way through. It's the most interactive multimedia museum I've ever seen. Because you're not going to go to like a museum on dinosaurs and want to watch videos. You're going to want to like look at the bones and the fossils and stuff like this. But this is all a multimedia experience as you go through what it was like, what we were going through. I mean, I was a senior in high school. You were a freshman in college?
Mm-hmm, freshman in college.
Yeah, and so you were in high school, I think, right? Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, we remember. I remember what class I was in. And so it's fascinating from the perspective of taking your kids to walk them through and be like, I was in math class right here. I was in English class right here. This is the point of the day where nothing got done and nobody spoke. You just moved to the next classroom and stared silently at the TV screen. So very powerful.
It was very powerful. And George W. coming out, throwing the base, throwing a strike, the Yankees being in the World Series. God was allowed back again. You could talk about God. You could be religious or non-religious and talk about God. It was all acceptable. And there was no Democrat, Republican. Rosie O'Donnell had a great comment the day after 9/11 about how she doesn't, no more politics. She doesn't look at it as, and of course none of this lasted, but it was a very authentic, genuine, I don't care if you're Republican, I don't care if you're Democrat. And we had that. And I know, I don't like the people that are like, and it was back to the same 3 months later, because that's human nature and the way life goes. But it does show that deep down, I think that there's an authentic love for our country, and evil unites. Certainly goodness unites, but evil can also unite. And it was just a reminder of what matters.
I think one of the things that people don't remember when we look back at September 11th and the days that followed is the uncertainty. Mm-hmm. You might remember the day, and the plane hit the tower, and we didn't know how many planes were still in the sky, and there's reports of car bombs, which ended up not being true, but all these reports, like, gosh, are we going to war? Who are we going to go to war with? I'm in high school, like, are we going to get drafted? Like, these were reasonable questions to be asking. Yeah. How long is this going to happen? Is this the first wave of attacks? What's going on with these anthrax mailings? Like, it was like we are now in a different world. And eventually, over the next few months, it became clear that the might of the American military and our allies would be able to confine the violence from that point on to the Middle East. But we didn't know, and people came together. And I always think my most profound memory is, I didn't play football like you did. I was a marching band nerd, but I was into the marching band. We loved it, and it was just, Americana at its best, Friday Night Lights type of thing. I just remember the Friday night after, we had a home game. It was September 14th, 2001. Marching across the field, we're there, the football players are there, and the national anthem, and just everybody's like looking at that flag on that crisp autumn sky. None of us knows what comes next, but it's a beautiful time for our country, I think.
Yeah, and A&M did something that became a famous thing that we still do today, actually, and they did the red, white, and blue on the 3 decks of the football stadium and had a moment of silence, and it was all student-led. You weren't here for that, where you were still in high school, but that was really, really awesome. The uncertainty was crazy. Of course, I had a lunatic professor that was like, well, all you boys will be drafted by next week. And I was like, actually thought that was real. And I thought about joining the military immediately. And so, but we did they canceled school for the rest of the week. We filled up the gas tanks and went to the grocery store and drove to Mary Lisa's parents' house. It was definitely had a little bit of the end of the world to it. And it was that uncertainty. I think it was such which, as Jim Olson, our former board chair, said, who spent his career in the CIA, they want everything to be symbolic. They want it to hit. Because I said one time, how come they just don't go to a Michigan-Ohio State game and blow the thing up with 100,000 people? Well, you'd kill way more people. He said they don't want that. They're after America. It has to be, the symbolism is more powerful even than the number of casualties, which is kind of interesting when you're thinking about terrorism.
Why they attempted the Pentagon and
if you can, I think it was if you can take down the towers in a matter of minutes. I think that is what, frankly, just scared the heck out of everybody, and grounded every airplane, and it was the worst and the best of our country for sure, because so many people, and George W. Bush's finest moment for sure, but. Yeah.
It's a great speech when he's in the rubble. And I can hear you, the world can hear you, and the people who knocked down these towers are going to hear all of us real soon.
Cue Toby Keith.
Just singing.
Yeah, it was a great thing. And we rip on him because obviously the whole Iraq thing ended up being a disaster, but everybody voted on it. Everybody, including myself, thought, of course, we've got to go into Iraq. But I think that of course, there's military experts that have a lot of theories on this, but I don't know what the plan should have been. Obviously, we had to go into Afghanistan and we had to go after, the Taliban, but we just ended up creating ISIS, leaving all these vacuums. And frankly, to be fair to George W. and all the people that were for John McCain, he did the surge, remember all that? There really was no plan to fight a war like this. We didn't know what we were doing. And we've learned since then. We're going to find out if we learned with Iran. But it's just one of those, we're going to now take Navy SEALs and start kicking down doors and do all this. I think what it led to, whether it be the Patriot Act or just this endless war that we got into, I don't think that takes away from the moment we're talking about.
Right. When you had to stand in line to give blood.
Right. Nothing can take that away. And I think people get so fixated on, but, and it was a beautiful time, in our country.
Churches were filled. Yeah, but.
And not because of some program. That's one of the things that I reflect back on is now, and I say this without any intended criticism, but let's say something happens. It's okay, now it was we're Catholics. The USCCB has declared a day for whatever. There was nothing. Everybody just showed up at church because that was the most sensible thing to do. Mm-hmm. I mean, I said people waited in line to give blood. They waited in line to give money. You wait in line to give money. That was what it was like.
People for us Catholics, people went to confession for the first time in 25 years. I mean, that's a real thing. And that the only other time we've seen that happen is after the Passion came out.
Yeah.
And you heard these stories. The guy who got away with double murder, who was a banker, and he turned himself in after he saw the Passion. And they solved this unsolvable crime because the guy saw the Passion and he confessed. Those kind of things, that's what 9/11 did. I remember the confession lines, and I had relatives who hadn't been to confession in years, and they just went. There was just this come to Jesus moment. And so I'm really glad you put that in here because the only thing we can compare it to that we heard, was the assassination of Kennedy, but that was so dramatic. But that was the first televised tragedy. Whereas we didn't see Pearl Harbor, and it's in Hawaii. It's America, but it's
right.
Like most people have seen New York in multiple movies or been there. I have a picture of me and my brother standing on top of the towers a year before 9/11, and just we have that relationship with it. We just haven't had many things like that. The Kennedy assassination is probably the closest because somehow it didn't lead us into a war, but it was public.
Yeah. And this unity is a buzzword now. Like whichever candidate wins any election, it's time to put away our identities and have unity. Like the people in the middle of nowhere, Indiana, cried for the people in Manhattan.
Mm-hmm. No, it was 100% unified. And I remember, which is the footage now, people love it or hate it, but seeing Trump walk down there from his office and start picking up rubble and doing all those things. And no, that I remember seeing stuff like that, like celebrities were going out there, just new people who lived in New York.
Steve Buscemi had been a firefighter, and he went back to like his old unit.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah, which he's, that was, I forgot about that. It's fantastic. Okay, we got to wrap up. Here we go. Jesse Owens wins the gold in the 1936 Berlin Olympics. Take that, Adolf.
Yeah, they're supposed to demonstrate, those Olympic Games are supposed to demonstrate the superiority of the Aryan race. And then Jesse Owens won gold in the 100-meter, the long jump, the 4x100-meter relay, and the 200-meter, at which he set the world record, and the German people loved him.
Yeah, they did.
And he ended up being friends with the second-place German guy who was on the medal stand next to him.
Huh. Cool. Great. All right, our man, Mark Houck. There we go. It's a great testament to free speech, not backing down, having the horrible Biden DOJ come after you. You don't take a deal.
Don't come home.
Sue them and win.
And the system worked.
The system worked.
All of our flaws, all of our injustices, there are many, they are legion, but the system brought justice.
And a good note to end on is Mark Houck of just how much injustice our country has overcome and how many people have died defending our freedom. And how could you not go out and pray in front of an abortion clinic or just be pro-life? Say something to a pregnant girl, say something to somebody who supports abortion. Just be a voice for the unborn, because there are millions who have been snuffed out and not given a chance at life. And we get to do this, and we get to have free speech, and we get to debate about all these issues and joke about all these issues. And a lot of people were given zero chance, and they have no opinion, no way to defend themselves. And this is why we defend free speech, because if we don't use it, we'll lose it. And so that's why, as we started, it's patriotic to be pro-life. And if we don't have children, we don't have a country. We don't need a country. So it's a beautiful thing that we get to do. So happy birthday, America. We are happy about 250 years. We hope all of you get to celebrate the 4th of July with family, with fireworks that could easily be bottles of wine, and you get to pray for our country this 4th of July. That's the most important thing that we can do, is pray for our country and have a sense of hope for the future, because our hope is in the Lord. And so our country is only as good as we can make it, depending on his grace. So please give us any of your feedback on this at podcast@40daysforlife.com, podcast@40daysforlife.com. Please rate, review, and share this podcast, and we will see you next time. God bless you.